Hello, everyone. Let's see if this is recording. We are going to do a yoga practice for the Sefirah of Yesod. I would recommend if you have a block to please bring it to the mat. If you have a bolster, please bring it also, or you can bring any sort of long pillow or a few pillows stacked together. So we will begin by sitting on the tops of the feet. So the feet are into the earth, the hips are over the heels, and we will slide the block under your sit bones and draw the knees towards each other. Bring the hands onto the tops of the thighs. So we're right away creating an establishment of our place of Yesod, which is both the male and the female procreative organs. We can begin by bringing awareness down into the pelvic floor, down towards our sexual energy. And you can bring your hands on the thighs, closing the eyes. And Yesod is our connective sexual power. And of course, before we bond with others, first we have to bond with ourselves. And Yesod means bonding, it means intimacy, it is the Sefirah of connection. So right away, finding that connection with your own sexual power. And there may be a lot of layers for you here, just observing. Perhaps there's guilt or shame or disappointment or longing, yearning, just being a witness to the energy that lies deep down in this energy center. You can open your eyes and we'll take some Kegels to really activate the sensation here. So you begin by really relaxing the pelvic floor. And then we'll engage all the muscles of the pelvic floor, like you're gathering them together and lifting them up. On the inhale, feel that rising sensation up through your channel. And then exhale to release and soften into the block. This is really good for strengthening all of those muscles. Let's try that a few more times. Inhaling, gathering the muscles, lifting them up. Almost like you're creating a lock of the channel below you. And then exhale, release and soften. Okay, one more time. Gather it and lift. And exhale, release the muscles of the pelvic floor and soften. Nice. Let's remove the block and come into a squat or malasana. You can keep the block lifted, or you can sit on the block here also and wedge the elbows into the inner knees, opening the hips here. So Yesod is located in the middle channel of the spherotic tree. So whereas Da'as is the intimacy of the consciousness, what parallels Da'as in the mind, this is our conscious integration, all the way down the tree is Yesod, which is the synthesis not only of the the Netzach and Hod, the right and left side of the instinctual Sefirot, but Yesod is a super Sefirah in that it unifies all of the Sefirot above. First, it collects all the energy of all the Sefirot above. Keser, Chachma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod. It gathers all of that into Yesod and then channels into Malchut, into the vessel, into the feminine. So Yesod is all about collecting and then connecting and channeling. So it's a very powerful Sefirah. In fact, our sages say when we rectify Yesod, when we rectify our sexual energy, we have attained the highest state of consciousness. A pretty big one. So feel that just collection of all of our energies coming down into Yesod, into your sexual organ. And it's a very sensitive topic, but our sexuality can be the force of destruction and all negativity, and it can also be the key to our most elevated spiritual states. Let's bring the left hand out. We'll inhale to the right. So we're bringing in the whole right side, the Netzach, the Chesed, and the Chachma of the spiratic tree, and gathering it in. And then other side, inhale the left hand high, gathering the left side of the spiratic tree. We have the Bina, we have Gevura, we have Hod, and we bring it all together. We integrate, feeling Yesod, our foundation. That's Yesod, foundation. It's also our sense of truth. So we're really bringing awareness to that sexual organ. And we'll come onto the back into happy baby, opening the knees, holding onto the outer edges of the feet, and closing your eyes. Dipping into your sexual power, the life force that really weaves into all of existence. It is our greatest power. And you can rock right and left, swaying and massaging the low back. And we can ask ourselves, is our sense of sexuality channeled, healthy, in the right direction? And in terms of spiritual truths, this means that our sexuality is bonded towards commitment and asking ourselves, who is this soul that I am bonding with? Instead of bonding with anything and everything, it's a binding of energies. So it's a very deep form of union. And can we do it with tahara, with purity and holiness, and guarded in a manner that our sexuality can be elevated with commitment? And draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. First, we bond with ourselves before we can bond with another. And we'll hold on to the back of the thighs and we'll just rock up and down, nice and slow, massaging the spine and rocking all the way forward, coming into a child's pose, opening the knees wide, pressing the forehead down on the mat. In the Sephirotic system, every Sephirah has a direction in the cosmic cube that surrounds us. The direction of Yesod is west and to the back of us. So it's a time for back consciousness. So whereas in child's pose, we often feel the front soft body, let's bring awareness into the back body, the direction of Yesod. Feeling the four corners of the back, feeling the strength and support of the back, and any physical or emotional sensations in the back body. Beautiful. We'll take about 3 more breaths here. And from child's pose, we'll rise into all fours. We'll take some cat and cows here, inhaling forward, lifting the tailbone up, and exhaling, rounding and curving the spine, gazing into your center. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. So in yoga, the front body is the yin, the feminine, the receiving, and the back body is the yang, the masculine. So Yesod is more of a masculine sefirah, and it's about paying attention to the yang side of us, the back body, the structure, the support. And it's the back where everything integrates from the front body and makes us who we are, like the backbone of who we are. So in our cat and cows, bring awareness to the back body. And we can ask ourselves, what is our foundation? What is our backbone? What makes us who we are? Nice. And we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back into your down dog. Your first down dog of the day. You can pedal out the feet. You can look right and left. And again, awareness of the back body. From the crown of the head to the tailbone. From the right shoulder to the left shoulder, to the right hip to the left hip. Tracing awareness along these points. Breathing deeply into the back, the strength. And west is where the sun sets. It's often at sunset where everyone comes back to their villages, comes back home, and bonds with one another. So it's the place of integration, of bonding, of intimacy. And bring the feet together to touch. That's such a Yesod movement, kissing the feet together in intimacy. Inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog. Gaze forward and step the right foot all the way through to the top of the mat. We'll begin by lowering the left knee just to get into the hips and sinking our awareness into our Yesod, the whole area of the pelvic floor, the sexual energy down here. You can come onto the fingertips and roll the shoulders back so you're gazing forward. And then we'll lift the left knee and draw the heel down, inhaling up to a warrior one. And why I chose this pose is because we can lean forward in warrior one. We can also begin to lean back for that back awareness. Imagining there's a wall behind your skull, down the back supporting you. Feel that yang quality of the back body. So whereas the front body is like the yin, it's the lunar, the moon, the back body is the solar, the sun. So feeling that shining solar energy from the back body. And again, asking yourself, what is my foundation? What are my values? What are my truths? These are the questions of Yesod. And sweep the palms behind you, reaching the crown forward. So our hands are reaching back towards the direction of Yesod, the west. It even says in Torah that the Shekhinah dwells in the west, and that the west is saturated with the divine presence. So we're reaching back with the palms. And inhale back to warrior one. Exhale, open to warrior two. So if it's our first warrior two of the day, you can shuffle around and find the posture, the width that feels good for you. And then open the arms, gazing over the right fingers, and then bring awareness to the back and subtly, very, very gently pushing the back body towards the back. Feeling a sense of support behind you. Feeling the foundations behind you. And sweep the left fingertips down and open. Bring the heels together for star pose, reaching fingertips and toes in all directions. We can imagine the color of Yesod. Some people say it's a dark navy, like almost like a blackish color, very dark. Some Kabbalists call it more of an orange color. So it's up to you. It's a visual, it's not a literal color, it's an energetic feeling, wrapping that color of Yesod around you. And then bring the hands to the heart and we'll sink down into a temple pose. So I love this posture for Yesod because we're collecting all the energy above into our pelvis, into our sexual organ here. And we're also feeling the back body strong behind us. So you can open the arms in any way that feels good. Cactus arms. You can also interlace the hands behind you towards Yesod direction, towards the west. Whatever it is, feel your back body reaching subtly behind you, sinking downwards to the earth. And Yesod is the element of earth. So we feel supported behind us and we feel supported below us. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhale, star pose. And bring the toes towards each other. Hold on behind you, interlacing the hands, pressing palms together, squeezing the shoulders back. And exhale, rocking forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Feeling the pinkies reaching behind you and then above you, and looking to the direction of Yesod, the back, the west, and imagining the sun setting with all the beautiful colors. And just like the sun sets and has a mixture of all the colors of light into a beautiful spectrum, Yesod collects all the individual sefirot above, all the midot, all the qualities, and unifies into a beautiful energy so that it can transmit that energy directly to the vessel, to the Sefirah of action of Malchut. Release the palms down, connecting to the earth. And then hands on the hips, inhale, lifting up. We'll step to the top of the mat and reach the hands above you. Big channel. It says in Kabbalah, Yesod is the transmitter between the two types of movement, or choser and or yashar. The reflected returning light, which is a lifting movement, and the or yashar is a direct straight light from above to below. So Yesod is right here, and it channels those two energetic movements, above to below and below to above. Just like in Jacob's ladder, the angels ascended and descended, the light lifts and falls. So reaching the fingers high, feeling that movement in both directions. And knowing that our sexuality is the channel that connects these two worlds, the higher and the lower. Brings the neshama from up high into heaven, down into the physical world, through the channel, the birth canal. And we'll swan dive forward, palms to the earth. Inhale, flat back. And feel that strength of the back, the Yesod. Exhale, hands to the mat. We'll step it back into plank, keeping the awareness on the back body and the skull, all the way from the back up to the skull in one long line. And we'll chaturanga, inhaling the heart forward and exhaling, floating the hips back. Let's take 3 integrative breaths here, collecting all of our energy into our Yesod so we can channel it into action, into our movement. Kiss the toes together, an act of intimacy with yourself. Inhale the left leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, look forward, step the foot all the way through. You can lower the right knee and sink the hips, dropping awareness down into your Yesod, into that whole area, feeling that life force. Some opinions say that our whole purpose is for Yesod, to be fruitful and to multiply. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that completely, but there is a truth to that all beings are here. Also ecologically, in terms of evolution, that is the main drive of living beings, to continue the line and to give and to create new life. So let's lift the right knee up, sink the right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. On the other side, sink the back body towards the back of the mat. Reach through the fingertips. What happens when we have a perfect balance of netzach, the right leg, which is endurance, which is moving forward, perseverance, victory, with the left side of hod, the humility, the surrender, the softness. We get this beautiful balance of bonding and intimacy, a really perfect union. Sweep the hands behind you as you rock the crown forward. Left knee floats over the heel. Breathe deeply, pointing the fingers towards the west. And then inhale back to warrior one. Exhale into your warrior two, shuffling to find your perfect stance. And then nudging the skull back so it's in line with the back body, gazing over the middle fingers, asking ourselves what and whom are we bonded with? Is the bond healthy? Is it who I want to bond with? Because when I bond, it unites our energies forever. Even if we never see that person again, it still brings energies together forever, says Kabbalah. So being thoughtful and conscious about who and what we're bonding with. And then let's open it up into a star pose. Heels hug together, reaching the fingers wide. I'll turn towards you. And we'll interlace the palms behind us, sink into your temple pose. Descend awareness from the upper spherotic tree, the intellectual properties, down through the emotions, into the instinctual and sexual, down through the tree. Very close to action, which is malchus. Very close. We're almost there. And if your hands are behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades, open the chest. If it feels more power for you to cactus the arms out, feel your own power, especially your sexual power, enlivening, strengthening for a deep, meaningful bond. Reach the fingers, straighten the legs, star pose, shining that beautiful Yesod light. There's nothing more powerful than bonding, than connection with others. And then bring the toes together, and we'll fold forward once again. This time, if your hands were behind you before, clasped together, this time you can take a block and walk the block as far forward as you can, but keep the hips sinking back towards Yesod, towards the west. Sinking the hips behind you. Release the block if you have it. Bring the hands to the hips as you lift up. Jump together. Inhale the hands high, feeling your Yesod channel. Some say Yesod is the birth channel that brings new life from above to below, and also from below to above. It's a two-way channel. So simultaneously feeling from Yesod down to the feet, and also from Yesod up through the crown, through Keser, the infinite realm, the expansive realm. And exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Really feel the back here, strong, the yang, the solar. Exhale, palms to the earth, forward fold. You can wrap the hands around the back of the legs, so you're pulling yourself more towards the back, towards Yesod. And the mitzvah associated with Yesod, of the 6 constant mitzvot, is to guard our thoughts. So if you find any negative, intrusive, foreign thoughts coming in, we have the power to guard them and to make sure that our thoughts are pure, are holy, sanctified, and positive. Release the palms on the shins, flat back again. Inhale. And exhale, bring the palms to the backs of the legs, draw them in. So we'll try that a few times. Inhale, pushing yourself away from the legs as the back lifts. And then wrapping the hands behind you, letting the back fall. Keep going, focusing on the back body and the power as it lifts and falls. Two more times like this. Release the palms to the mat, step it back into plank. Feel the strength of the back, all the memories, all the experiences, all the people that you've bonded with is stored in the back body. This is what makes us who we are. And we'll take a chaturanga here, inhaling the chest forward, exhaling hips up and back as you sink the heels. Lift the toes to press back into the legs and to the heels. Beautiful, beautiful. Light bend in the knees. Look forward, hop to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up, paying attention to the back body. Inhale, or Hoser, a lifting, rising light through the channel. And exhale, or Yashar, that direct downwards light, bringing the palms to the side. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, palms to the back of the legs, pull yourself in. One more flat back. Inhale, press into the shins. And exhale, hands to the mat, step it back into plank. Lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Bring the knees down, kiss the toes together, forehead to the mat, child's pose. If you'd like, you can do the same child's pose with a bolster under the front body. And bringing the bolster all the way to the Yesod organ and feeling that support so that the back can be puffed up and lifted, energized. Let every breath be a bonding with yourself. And we'll push the bolster forward and come onto a seat So the bolster is right up to the low back. Nice. You can extend the legs in front of you and lay back onto the bolster so your back body is supported, the spine is cushioned, and instead of bringing the palms upwards, face them down to the quality of the earth. Some talk about Yesod being like the soil, the very fertile soil of the earth. So like you're sinking your hands into the fertile soil, feeling the back body rest and bond with the ground beneath you. Thinking about the people that you're bonded with and how can you create a deeper, more healthy, more lasting bond with those loved ones. Or perhaps you're still looking for someone to bond with, a partner, and thinking about who you would like to bond with, feeling that yearning, that activating of Yesod, and asking Hashem, the divine, to bring you that person that will bring you the deepest form of bonding in a holy, lasting way. And go ahead and release that bolster, roll it to the side. We'll come into bringing the feet down and sinking the spine into the earth so all of the back is planted into the earth. Every part of the back is nourished by the fertile soil. And then lift the legs and arms and roll around the limbs. The foundation is the back. This is Yesod. Yesod is also about grounding and stabilizing. So feeling those elements through the back body. And bend the knees, open the feet wide, back into your happy baby pose. Perhaps this one feels different than our first happy baby, rocking back and forth. Some people feel uncomfortable in this posture, and it's a good time to explore what are our triggers, and sexuality could really be the holiest power we have, or it can be the most destructive and shameful and traumatic. So coming into this posture with curiosity and with an open state of witness to where you're holding in terms of your sexuality, being honest and vulnerable. And then drawing the knees back together, hugging yourself. Before we could be intimate with others, first we have to really intimately love and know ourselves. And open into a final relaxation pose. Bring the palms down facing the fertile soil, sinking the back body into the earth. Just like Adam was created from the Adamah, the earth below. And when Adam was intimate, it says that Adam knew his wife, Chava. Adam knew Eve. And this word, to know intimately, it comes from da'as, which is our higher consciousness. So the physical intimacy parallels the highest state of consciousness, to really intimately know someone, know their soul, bond with them completely. And that's what our sexual power can do if we harness it correctly and bond to the right person. Let's take 3 breaths, connecting with our innermost self, nourishing our sexual power. And then we'll reach the hands behind us into that long channel. Roll to the side and lift up into a seated. Bring both hands to the knees. Thanking ourselves for showing up to practice, to take care of our body and our neshama. To explore the Sefirot is to be vulnerable, but it's also to channel all of our energies for self-growth, for higher elevation, and for synthesis and integration so we can be more balanced, more refined, and more joyous people in this world. Thank you for practicing. If you have any questions, please reach out. I know this is a sensitive topic, so anything that comes up for you, please speak with me. I'm here to be a part of your healing journey. Thank you so much.